Hello, person watching this video. My name is Neko, and today I'd like to take you back to the past. Welcome back to my Let's Remember Pokémon series. In the last episode, we took a look at the Pokémon 2000 Stadium Tour event, as well as the release of Pokémon Stadium. Today, we're going to take a little trip to Summer Vacation 2000, where a brand new Pokémon movie came out. Pokémon the Movie 2000, The Power of One. Spring 2000 had been a fantastic year so far, and summer was right around the corner. I was almost done with elementary school, and my classmates and I were excited to move on to something new, high school. My class and I had been together since our very first year, and we had grown into what looked like a little family. By that point, many of the people in my class were into the Pokémon trading card game, and our school had made an exception to its rules. Our class was allowed to bring Pokémon cards to school as long as we kept them inside our classroom during lunch break. We could trade and battle, but it had to remain within our class. At home, I had cleaned up and emptied out a storage room on the second floor so that I could turn it into a Pokémon trading card game club. I had filled the room with all of my Pokémon merchandise, posters, and magazines, and had even displayed a Pokémon poster directly in the little room's window. I wanted everyone to know this was the official Saint Marthe Pokémon Club room. Because of this wave of interest for the game, I remember asking my parents if we could go shopping for Pokémon cards for my birthday. A store called Sports Collect had opened in Valleyfield, a town not too far from my hometown, and my classmates were shopping for their cards there. My parents agreed to the idea, and on May 13, we headed to Valleyfield. We made our way to Sports Collect and finally got to see what a trading card store looked like. It was amazing! Big cardboard cutouts of various Pokémon were decorating the store, and they even had a poster of Misty in their show window. I remember spending some time looking at the amazing collection of cards they had in stock and buying a Rocket Series starter deck. But more importantly, I remember something else. They had the Pokémon trading card game for Game Boy Color. This is what I ended up getting for my birthday, and I didn't regret it. To this day, this game remains one of the games I play the most on my Game Boy Color, finding tons of replay value, trying out different decks and strategies. School was almost over, and summer 2000 promised to be amazing. Not only would I get to hang out with my friends, but a new Pokémon movie was coming out very soon. Summer Vacation 2000. How can I forget? Elementary school was over, and I was so eager to discover what high school had in store for me. I pictured myself meeting new people, enjoying more freedom, and perhaps even finding my first love. I was a naive kid, still playing pretend and drawing comics, still playing Lego and Nintendo games all the time. There was nothing wrong with that, but little did I know, the high school I would go to in my first year was not the most welcoming school in the world. Putting that aside, I was in a fantastic mood. That summer, I remember my parents and my uncle organizing a garage sale on a hot day of June, and me selling a bunch of my old toys and comics in order to make a bit of money. I wanted to buy a new Nintendo 64 controller, and I was determined to buy Kirby 64. I ended up saving just enough for both, and a fun part of my summer was completing this new game. I would always hang out at Chanel's place as well as with Guillaume and his brothers. One of my best summer memories was when Chanel and I packed our bags with snacks, juice boxes, and sandwiches, and we headed for the fields to pretend we were leaving on a Pokémon journey. We each had a Pokéball toy that we could throw when pretending to catch Pokémon, or send out our Pokémon out to battle. The sun was shining bright as we walked through the fields and made our way to a small forest. We sat on rocks by a small pond under the shade of the trees, and we had lunch. One day, in late July, Guillaume called and asked if I wanted to go see the new Pokémon movie with him and his brothers. His mother would drive us to the movie theater and even watch the movie with us. I remember us driving under a rainy sky to the movie theater, eager to see this brand new Pokémon film. I knew this movie would show even more new Pokémon, including Ladybug and Hoot Hoot. I had been made aware of this movie thanks to a promotional disc Nintendo Power had sent to its subscribers, and I couldn't wait to discover what other new Pokémon we would be introduced to. We made it to the cinema, and when we bought our tickets, we were each given a promotional Ancient Mew card. I still have this card to this day as a memory of this little event. We found good seats in the projection room, and soon enough, the movie began. The first thing I remember when looking back on Pokémon the Movie 2000 is how excited I was to see new Pokémon. Like the first movie, the second movie opened with a Pikachu special called Pikachu's Rescue Adventure. In this little special, we were introduced to a bunch of Generation 2 Pokémon. I remember seeing Elekid, Bellossom, Hoot Hoot, and Ladybug, and being eager to see what they would be like in their actual games. In the beginning, I was worried that Guillaume's mother would be bored and not enjoy the movie, but surprisingly, she was smiling and laughing along with the audience. It was a surprise that she wanted to watch it with us, but it was even more of a surprise that she enjoyed it. When the main feature began, we were once again treated to a fantastic soundtrack. If there is one thing I'm a sucker for, it's a great soundtrack, and these two Pokémon movies sure delivered on that. I got sucked in right away. I remember being intrigued by this new villain and impressed by his flying fortress. It was such a great feeling seeing Ash, Pikachu, Misty, and Tracy on the big screen. The movie opened with a remix of the Pokémon World theme, as the trainers led their Pokémon out for a swim around the boat on a sunny day. My memories of this movie are not as clear as the ones I keep of the first one, but I definitely remember enjoying it. There are a few scenes that stuck with me over the years, though. Professor Oak and Delilah having a pleasant conversation in Pallet Town, only to notice that it was beginning to snow all of a sudden. Pokémon all over the world beginning to act strange because of the disturbance in the equilibrium of the elements. Ash and the gang meeting Melody and Misty's jealousy. Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres fighting over their territory. Ash traveling to all the islands and getting help from Team Rocket. Slowking explaining to Ash his role, and Ash meeting Lugia. Overall, I remember enjoying the film quite a bit, and the movie only making me more excited for the upcoming Gold and Silver games. Unlike Pokémon the first movie, where my friend Simon told me he didn't enjoy the film and didn't like Pokémon anymore, my experience with the second movie was not bittersweet. On the way back home, I remember Guillaume, his brothers, and I talking about the movie and being excited to do a Pokémon story outside as soon as we got home. The rain had stopped and the sky was clearing up as we drove back home. It was like Lugia and Ash had brought order back to our world as well. That was my experience with Pokémon the Movie 2000. Did you get the chance to see it in theaters? Do you still have that promotional Ancient Mew card? What are your memories of this movie? The next episode will be the last in this first season of my Let's Remember Pokémon series. We will travel back to fall 2000 and look back at the release of two very important games, Pokémon Gold and Silver version.